thankfully both published in Nature, so gave us lots of chance for reviews. But what I'd like to suggest is that, like this optical illusion of an older and a younger woman, that these two models for dynamin are not mutually exclusive. So we think now that dynamin plays a dual role in coded vesicle formation, that it functions early as a regulatory GTPase, and this function is in its unassembled state, where it's targeted early stages to class-encoded kits. And in this regulatory mode, it functions to regulate and monitor coded kit maturation and to control these slow stages of vesicle formation. It is requiring basal binding and hydrolysis activity. It subsequently, after self-assembly, switches to its second mode of operation as a component of the fission apparatus. These late stages of dynamic fission reaction is very rapid compared to the maturation process, requires self-assembly dynamics, and so that's the take home. Those of you who want to leave, I'll try to now provide evidence for that. So the evidence for dynamic role as a early regulatory enzyme in GTP hydrolysis is actually quite extensive. First of all of the GTPase and assembly effective uses that we and others have generated in dynamin over the past 10 or 15 years block early stages of representation, not late stages. Chemical inhibitor of dynamin, which is a non-competitive GTPase inhibitor identified by Tommy Kirkhausen, also blocks early stages of vesicle. As I told you, mutations in GED that impair assembly stimulated GTPase activity accelerate early stages of vesicle formation. Second class of mutations in GED that were identified by Drosophila genetics as suppressors of the Shabiri phenotype, so-called SUSIMU, suppressors of Shabiri. These mutations in GED rest with second site mutations in the GTPase domain, which shows that the GED activity negatively regulates dynamic function. We'll come back to these a little bit later on in the talk. And finally, recent studies in the arXiv, which I'll show you the data from, show that dynamic basal GTPase activity controls the turnover of aborted coded kits. So this work that I'll take a moment to tell you about is work by Marcel Metlin, a postdoc in my lab, in collaboration with Tina Lohner, a postdoc with Gaudy Danuser, who works with Dennis Scripps, and Gaudy has since moved off to Harvard Heaven. This is total internal reflection fluorescence video microscopy of fluorescently labeled, EGFP-labeled class and light chain dynamics in a BSC1 monkey endothelial cell line. And what you're looking at here is with the turf, we can illuminate only the bottom 100 nanometers of the cell, and we don't illuminate any of the fluorophores deeper in the cytosol. So in this way, we can monitor events right at the cell surface. It's ideally suited for monitoring class-mediated endocytosis and other events at the cell surface. Claire Waterman helped us set this up when she was at Anyway, what you're seeing here are coded pits that form and pinch off from the cell surface. And as you look at these movies, I was struck by the heterogeneity of them. There are ones that come and go very quickly. There are ones that hang along a little longer. There are very bright, intense objects, and there are dimmer objects. And so when I looked at this movie as a biochemist, I was a little disturbed, in a sense, by this heterogeneity, because as a biochemist, by analogy, we tend to take a mixture of components, a mixture of cells, a mixture of events at the plasma membrane, and put them together into one blender and end up with something akin to a tropical fruit smoothie. Well, in fact, so I, in a sense, as a biochemist, have been studying tropical fruits, and simply not even used such a thing as a tropical fruit. We study as biochemists the average of events, and in that averaging of all events, we may or may not lose sight of reality. And so our goal with this new assay was to capture and quantify the heterogeneity of events, and then to define the functional and molecular basis of this heterogeneity, and most importantly, to exploit it as a source of new mechanisms. So in order to do this, we needed a fully automated, unbiased way to track all of these events and to establish a complete inventory of projections by curve. And hence, we collaborated with Gaudy Danner, Regina Looker, and Police Ackerman from their lab, who had to deal with this problem of tracking coded hits. The problem is their density, their heterogeneity, and the low intensity of the object, and also the fact that they might temporarily disappear because of unevenness in the cell or the first image. And if you systematically lose sight of something and then gain it again, and you don't fill in those gaps, then everything's going to look like it's short-lived. Right? And so the mathematics for this problem comes from astronomy, where astronomers will look up in the sky during the night and see all these stars of different brightness and heterogeneity and twinkling, and then have to go away for the day and come back the next night and figure out which star is which. Right? So there is mathematics to do this, and it needed to be modified, but Palud Jackman and Gaudy and Dina did this in a way that allowed them to spatially and temporally globally optimize and track all of these images, including this all-important method of gap closing. When we detect and track and give trajectories for all these objects and cross the finish line, it's now important to provide statistics to interpret what this heterogeneity is telling us, and that was done with Bayesian information criteria. So what you see here is the analysis, statistical analysis, I don't have the end here, of roughly 50,000 endocytic events taken from 24 different cells, 24 different movies, long and short movies. We're trying to capture all of this heterogeneity. And what we see is that there are three populations statistically of the dynamic behaviors of these coded hits. Two short-lived populations, which we ascribe to as a border event, with lifetimes of 5 and 15 seconds, and about half of the coded hits have longer lifetimes that we were able to ascribe as productive events.
Must respond to the people's will, honor the profession, and carry through with the reform.
We then took this new assay and we did a dynamic knockdown, not a complete knockdown, just about a 50% reduction. And I think this is important because we want to create hypomorphic effects. We don't want to completely kill endocytosis. We want to have a small effect, and you can